Over the years, we've been talking about moments that appear in keys that you can actually predict a mistake before it happens. Outthinking the mistake, outplaying the mistake, preventing the mistake from happening because you can see it coming a mile away. Well, I have the perfect example of that here today. Something that you could see from the tank's point of view, but also something you could even learn from other roles as well. Of course, it's not just tanks who can do this, so that's why this is so interesting to me. Now, this footage is actually not even from my stream. I had the opportunity of playing with Grawl a few weeks ago and I didn't record it at the time, but he was nice enough to say that I can use his footage. So I want to show this from his perspective, and I am in the key and I'm going to explain to you what happens here and why this is such a big moment in this key. So I'm going to try to get these up here and then we can use the jar for the spirit, but it's probably not going to happen just because of where it's at. Should we just wait maybe?
We can do the spirit first.
Jump over to the side.
If we want to do no jar for the spirit. Yeah.
We can do the spirit without the urn. The spirit without the urn is fine if we need to do it.
Sleeping now.
Oh, I think he's trying to click it. Oh, he is. He doesn't
oh no! Oh no! Danger!
Hug clip. Clip it.
Just get ready. Just get ready to deal with it because it's gonna come in.
On somebody,
oh, okay. Or he's just running in. Oh wow, so it pulls it, but it doesn't even stun it. Oh shit.
Well, it stuns one of the mobs, like only one of them is in range, and then the other ones just get pulled. It's really crazy because this is actually the perfect example of what we've been talking about all these years. So if you can't tell exactly what happened, we had 4 people together in Discord and then presumably one person who either wasn't listening or I don't know if this guy was from the stream. I don't know anything about what happened. It was such a whirlwind night, but this guy did not understand the strategy we were trying to do. And more so, he also didn't understand the logistics of the strategy we were trying to do. We got unlucky there where the pat on the enraged guy kind of timed up with really bad timing for the actual pack there in front of the stairs. Typically, if that happened, I would pull the pack up the stairs a bit so we could fight it and then not aggro the mask. And then we could just use the jar for the mask. You obviously want to use the jar for one of these 2 packs, but I've had this happen the other direction as well, where I'm trying to use the jar for the mask. We can see that it's going to be in a perfect timing there, and somebody will jump down and use the jar while I'm fighting the pack. But if we fight the pack where it is actually not close enough. So that's exactly what happens here. There's only 1 mob in range of the jar by default. You're meant to obviously pull it over to the jar. You can actually see that. I mean, the jar has this giant blue ring around it now. It did not have that in season 1, but now in season 3 it does. So this guy made a, compounded error on itself, but this is the perfect pug moment, and this was easily avoidable in many different ways. This was obvious to me that this was always going to happen. People are going to use the jar there, and it's because this guy's never really tanked, or maybe he's never really used a jar, or he's never seen the different options of using the jar. So like that lack of communication just easily bricks the key, right? Well, in 9 out of 10 cases. In this case, we have plenty of DPS and we actually move on and still upgrade this key, but you need to try to get ahead of these mistakes, and this is why routing and stuff is so important to me, and trying to get under the psychology of the player, trying to understand, if I do this, what will they do? If I interrupt here, will they also interrupt? Will they overlap with me? Will these small mistakes, this lack of communication when you don't have invoice pugging, what will that do for the overall perspective of the key? And I think a lot of times you'd be surprised, it does a lot more than people realize. But the interesting thing about this is I talked about this with Grawl, and he actually said that he should have recognized it and he should have life gripped him too. So it's not just the tank, like I could have pulled in a different way. We could have communicated. We could have done a lot of things, but he was also thinking about it too. He was, as the healer, thinking how I could have saved the situation. Yeah, instead, so the solution there was simply just life grip the player away. Like as soon as the player starts walking over the urn, we know there's a problem. And at that point, it was still solvable, but it just doesn't get solved. So I think this is probably one of the coolest examples I've ever seen in keys. We see this kind of thing all the time. Usually it's on a smaller scale, but this is really poignant. Obviously, the other side about to be gone forever. Fun dungeon, but we'll look forward to seeing what happens in season 4. Thank you for watching. Always try to keep thinking ahead, especially if you're the tank and you're doing pugging. It is so crucial. I hope this has helped you guys. We will see you guys in the next video.